good games coming out. It's like, since Fortnite came out, has any good game been released? Like,
well, Apex has been released.
Apex has been released, but I wouldn't put Apex on the same tier as like
Valorant?
Literally. I'm talking about, and they're very, very rare, but I'm talking about like an industry defining game.
Yeah.
GTA 5, Minecraft, Fortnite. They're probably the three that would like come to mind most
How
immediately.
often though do you have a generation defining game?
Well, exactly. And I feel like if you actually look at the timeline between Minecraft, GTA 5, man, the GTA 5 Minecraft years were good years for game releases. But point being, what is that normal timeline? And it probably is you only get one of those crazy good ones every like 3 to 4 years. But man, does it feel like we need one right now. Because I don't know, there's just been no big game that people that has like actually moved the industry.
No.
Even Overwatch, when it came out, actually did a pretty powerful job of kind of like moving the industry a little bit. And I don't think that was just within my bubble. Everyone was talking about it. And then obviously Fortnite did that again. But it feels like since Fortnite released, like 4 years ago now is when the Save the World came out, I believe.
Yeah.
There hasn't been a game that has like held people, you know? Like everything's been very transient.
There's been these like hot trendy games, I think, which is like very much a function of
Fall
like
Guys.
influencer culture and gaming culture and streaming and YouTube and that sort of thing.
Because I've been chatting to people about this as well. And they're like, oh no, but like you've got like Battlefield coming out at the end of the year. Great. Actually super excited for Battlefield. Can't wait to play it. Not going to be something that is going to be like a new home base, you know? It's going to be the kind of game that I'm going to get on with a few mates and have a really good time and probably blast it for a full week when it first comes out. But it's not going to be something that moves the industry. It's Battlefield.
What about Hightail? Haven't we been talking about Hightail for like 2
Hightail,
years?
please save us.
2 years I thought Hightail's been meant to be coming out. And then everyone was just like, oh yeah, no, definitely like March 2021. But I feel like I haven't even heard a word about Hightail recently.
I wonder if it was one of those projects.
And is that generation defining, do you think?
No, Hightail won't be, because Hightail is, if anything, I mean, if it pulls off everything it's trying to achieve, I think it's kind of like souped up Minecraft, you know, which is really, really cool. But I don't think that's going to be necessarily like something that changes the world. And the hard thing is, like, you just don't know until they arrive. It's not even like I can look forward at the releases over the next year and be like, oh, yep, looks like we're not going to be getting any big releases that are going to like be like the next Fortnite or the next GTA.
You wouldn't have predicted Fortnite.
You wouldn't have called Fortnite. No one would have called the little Swedish boy building a game out of his attic in Notch when he made Minecraft that was going to be like the biggest game of all time. The only sure thing that I would be like, okay, that's going to be huge, cannot wait, is GTA 6.
Do you feel like there is more of a move for existing game developers, though, like Epic with Fortnite, to build out the games to a point where they are so big, though, that they are like a metaverse in and of themselves, and therefore, yes, it's still Fortnite, but what Fortnite now means is completely different?
Well, that's actually what I was going to say, is I think one of the biggest reasons we're not getting big new AAA releases and big new games coming out is that the way games used to work was you release the game, you sell the game for $60 a copy, and then you quickly hop back on working on your next game, because that's where you make your money, when you sell the game. Whereas now we're moving into these models where it's very much like the in-game ecosystem transactions going around and around and
Free
around.
to play with microtransactions.
Rockstar, who makes GTA, they used to pump out games. Like, obviously they would still work on them for a long time and do them to a really good level. It has been years since we've seen anything out of Rockstar, not even like a whisper about GTA 6, because they're just like, we don't really need to.
Do you think that also the standard for what makes a great game and what makes a AAA release has changed? Like, do you think if, you know, like Fortnite's really redefined a new level, like maybe Overwatch to an extent redefined a new level, like do you think if Apex or Valorant or something released 5 or 6 years ago that they would be considered bigger, but because they're coming in the wake of Fortnite, they don't feel as powerful?
Yeah, I think that's a good observation. That definitely is a factor, but they're still not games that I think really, regardless of whether they're in the wake of Fortnite, have really like moved the industry. Like, there was a great few years when PUBG first came out and introduced everyone to the concept of Battle Royale. and then that got iterated on, and then that became ultimately Fortnite that took over. There just hasn't been anything like that for a while, and I legitimately think it's this crazy irony that like developers are just getting lazy because they're making too much money from.
You reckon?
Well, literally, okay.
Dude, I want
one
to
of
speak
the
to someone. I want to speak to a developer or something.
all you
on the
need to do
podcast.
to look at to see the like toxic consequences of all these microtransactions is Valve.
Yeah.
They were literally one of the greatest game developers in the world. They were incredible. They made Half-Life. They made Counter-Strike. They developed TF2. They built the most incredible stuff ever. But then they made Steam as well, which is obviously the platform where you can buy games digitally. They take 30% on every game sale, and they're literally just rolling around in piles of cash. And they're like, if you're making billions of dollars just through sitting there clipping the ticket on every sale, like, why are you gonna like bother risking your reputation, your image as a company
I don't know. I
to make a
hate
game
that
that
outlook.
might make like if they make a good game, it might make like
Yeah.
20, 30 million.
That-
No, keep pumping skins into Dota, keep pumping loot crates into Counter-Strike, and just keep printing money off the Steam store.
Yeah.
Like they don't, ultimately at the end of the day, these are companies, they're trying to make money. It sounds ridiculous, but some of them are making just too much money that they don't even have to be game developers anymore.
I feel like I don't want to leave the podcast on that note because it feels pessimistic, and I don't want to call game developers lazy because I'm sure they're working really hard on a lot of things. But I think maybe it's just an observation that the industry itself is changing, and what used to be standard is no longer, and the way that games are developing and the way that games will come out in the future just looks different, and what a game development company is looks different to what it once did.
Yeah, I think the other hard thing, and I think one of the reasons that I think it'll still be a while before we get anything too crazy, is that almost always those genre-defining games, like the really crazy ones, they never come out of the AAA studios. You know, it's never EA announcing a title 8 months in advance, and then we're waiting for it for the year, and then it comes out and it does stuff really well. All the big publishers just wait, watch, and follow. They look for a kind of a category of game that looks like it's getting some traction, and then they make their own little spin on it. That's how most big AAA developers work.
Yeah.
You know, you look at EA with Apex. Apex was a response to Fortnite. You know, you look at how Minecraft, that sandbox style of game, was born from like just a random indie developer who had like a crazy idea and took a shot. And then you look at Fortnite with PUBG. That was literally like a mod for a game called Armor that a guy called PlayerUnknown made, and then he teamed up and made PUBG, and then Fortnite followed that. The kind of creation of like a new genre of game, yeah, it's a process, and I think we'll probably see maybe it'll be like Among Us or Fall Guys, where maybe they are kind of like they are the PUBG of something that will come in the future, where it's this very like indie game that
That's
clearly
cool.
has, and now we're going to see people iterate on that idea and put out something bigger and better than ever.
That's cool. That makes me feel excited.
That's my hopeful note to end the episode on.
All right. Well, guys, thank